Everybody, live from my mom's basement. Here's Johnny, and I'm back at you with a new video where I really wanted to talk about the current situation of the tag teams, not only WWE, not only TNA, but the bigger picture as a whole. I know a lot of you out there are like me. You've been fans of the wrestling business for a long time. You've seen all the different changes, the ups, the downs, all that shit happen, but you're still a fan. But it's just really frustrating, when you tune in and you've been programmed, as a kid and in your teens and whatever, that, wrestling had certain things, certain attributes, certain flavors to it that only a tag team division could appeal to. And I think one of the main problems that wrestling has today is that there's no fucking tag teams anymore. You can agree, you can disagree, whichever one you do, put it in the comments section below, please. I'm really fiending for those. I want to know what you guys think out there. It's not just me. Just because I get on here on my fucking pedestal and I talk to everybody, mainly myself, about all the different things that I like in wrestling and where I don't like where it's going. I want to know your guys' opinions. This is a fucking community for sharing ideas. It's beautiful. Let's utilize it, okay? So I want to take you on a trip down memory lane and kind of give you a little bit of a history lesson. I couldn't remember a lot of teams off the top of my head, so I did cheat a little bit and look them up. But when I looked them up, I was like, holy shit, I do actually remember these guys. So I want to talk a little bit about more of the golden era, going into like the earlier 90s, and then I want to talk more about like where it picked up after that in the Attitude Era, and all the teams from there. So, who were the teams? Like, who do you remember watching as a kid? For me, it was the Road Warriors, Demolition, the Rockers, the Hart Foundation, Power and Glory. That was Paul Roma and Hercules, for anybody that doesn't know. The Brainbusters, which was Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. Money Incorporated, the Orient Express, the Mega Powers. Oh, yeah! Even Macho Man and Zeus. And when they took on the Mega Maniacs, Bruce the Barber Beefcake and Hulk Hogan, Strike Force, Tito Santana and the Rick the Model Martel, the Wild Samoans or Crazy Samoans, whatever the hell they were called, Alpha and the other one, they were, tag teams everywhere. The Bushwhackers, awesome. The Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, probably one of the most hated tag teams ever. The British Bulldogs, Natural Disasters, the Steiner Brothers, the Beverly Brothers, the fucking Nasty Boys. I mean, do you see how many teams I just named? And this is in a period of a few years we're talking about here. Then you start thinking about guys more along the lines of like when Hogan went to WCW about 94-ish, and leading up into the Attitude Era. And I want to talk about, the teams that were involved in WCW too a little bit, because they were a major player. When you had that Monday Night War competition going on, a lot of that shit revolved around tag matches. It had those luchadors coming up from Mexico. It was random pairings, so it's not like they had different, names for teams, but some of the teams that you would see on a regular basis around that time were Paul Roma and Paul Orndorff. Pretty wonderful. If you don't know who they are, check out Fall Brawl 94. Holy shit. Funny match. They were actually against Marcus Bagwell and the Patriots. Stars and Stripes. Great match. Great psychology. Great use of heel tactics. Harlem Heat. 10-time tag team champions. That's something to, brag about and be proud of. They had the New Age Outlaws, the American Males, the Outsiders. I remember DOA, guys. Remember Mosh and Smash? Test and Albert. The Steiner Brothers again were a big player in this time. Lex Luger and Sting. Edge and Christian. The Dudley Boys. The Hardys. You remember when Bob and Crash Holly came out with their super heavyweights gimmick and they'd bring a scale to the ring? I mean, it was just awesome. Like guys like Public Enemy, High Voltage, Barry Windham and Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. You remember them? Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie. I mean, the fucking list is huge. We used to have lots and lots and lots of tag teams. And if you see a recurring theme, it's that these actual teams had actual team names. and they were everywhere. And you know, your guess is as good as mine, basically, on what the fuck really happened. You know, my best guess is that wrestling, you know, the promoters and the writers and all that, they just kind of got lazy and they didn't want to book for a tag division anymore. I think the focus shifted to singles competition because, you know, when WWE bought out WCW, they had two different sets of tag team belts to try to write for on two different shows that they put them on, and you know, I think that Raw and SmackDown's brand split, you know, they just didn't want to do it. It was too much to really go through. You know, they didn't have the roster for that to really have all those teams. You know, you'd see one on one show and then one on the other show, and it just got confusing. But that's my uneducated guess. So let's go on. I want to ask us a few questions. If you have answers for them, share them with me. Why are tag teams important? For one, it's a great way to spotlight the talent. You know, the matches are generally really exciting. 3, you can showcase a lot of different tandem moves and create, you know, a really unique, you know, thing for your own team to do. And every team can kind of have its own way to, you know, set it up and win the match. Why have we seen them move away from tag team wrestling, though? I mean, like, why are they only featuring, say, one team at a time versus another team at a time? Like, there's no ladder of success to climb anymore. It's not even exciting. You know, there's no competition left. You know, we used to have like 8 or 9 different teams that would compete, you know, and then it'd be a number 1 contenders match, and then you would get a shot at the title, and this, that, and the other thing, you know, like, I miss that. I really do. And what's with the way that the tag titles are designed now anyway in WWE? I mean, I really miss the older style of belts here, guys. Excuse me a second. Ugh. I just had some spicy 5-alarm Planters peanuts. Here's my plug. And God, are they fucking hot. So, getting back, you know, something that you can be proud to throw over your shoulder with these tag team titles. You know, like, I really think they should go retro on this because there's a lot of old style belts that look really friggin' good, and it made the guys wearing them look good, you know? Nowadays, they have this big fucking coppery looking stupid ass, like, they blew up a penny and then, like, put it on a piece of cardboard kind of belt. It just really looks dumb to me. Why else are tag teams important? And, you know, like, you think about it for a minute, and that's where all your superstars of tomorrow came from. You know, that was your future sight. That's where you dabbled into when you were really looking for somebody, for a new breakout star, you know? When a tag team was kind of getting really hot, you know, and being good, and they had a good run, and then you would split them up eventually, and they'd go their own way. Not like WWE does now, after, you know, they lose the tag titles, then they get mad at each other and split up instead of sticking around and trying to compete for them again. I want to talk about Booker T. Dude was a tag team champion with Harlem Heat 10 times before he went solo. And, I mean, that's a lot of time. When you have 10 title reigns, even if they're just for a month, that's 10 months of showcasing somebody on a show. You know what I mean? Like, and tag team promos are really good because you got to feel for who was really strong on the mic or not. You know, like, and this is before you try to push them singles wise. You already know this ahead of time. You know, like Bret Hart. You know, he definitely had the better mic skills in the Hart Foundation. And I mean, you can even look kind of recently. You know, like Miz and Morrison. Miz, obviously, good mic skills, went on to become a world champion. You know, where's Morrison? Forget it. Let's not even get into that. A problem with tag teams is that they have been breaking up a lot lately, and it sucks. You know, like, tag teams are a great way to sell merchandise. I don't give a shit how many John Cena shirts you're selling. You know, like, he's a singles competitor. Big fucking deal. People are tired of him. How many thousands of Legion of Doom shoulder pads did they sell back in the day? I mean, I had them, okay? And I was poor. Tag team t-shirts are awesome addition to any wardrobe, you know, whether it's just Outsiders or, you know, I wouldn't mind owning a Beer Money t-shirt. It'd be pretty sweet. But the problem I see without having real teams and real names that actually have longevity, and they just throw them together, you know, like Kane and Big Show, you know, how the fuck do you market that to somebody? You really need to get out of the box here with this, and something that could undergo a huge overhaul is like creating new teams. It's not like there aren't enough people to choose from on the roster that you're not using. Like every time I tune in on Monday or Friday or whenever, even for the pay-per-views, you got over half the locker room benched backstage. You're not even using them. So this is my plea. I hope you guys feel this way too, is let's get on the tag team bandwagon again. Let's see a good tag team scene. Even if you don't support Air Boom, if you think there's a better team out there, just go with it. Just get on the bandwagon for right now, and let's force WWE to give us, the fans, and shit, TNA for that matter too, to give us more of what we want to see. Don't let them be lazy. Like, let's make them force, to think about like tomorrow and the next few months, and new tag teams, and where your future stars are going to get showcased and come from anymore, instead of being, stuck in mid-card hell forever, and then just getting burned out there and never getting a title shot. It's just, tag teams were such a great part of the industry, and I really miss them, and I hope you do too. Put your fucking comments underneath, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you later, brother.